Pixelverse is a gaming cryptocurrency project that ran an airdrop on the Tone blockchain on Telegram with millions of participants active. It recently launched on the 18th of July and nobody has been able to make any sale, even though they've listed on various platforms. Now the question is, why bother to launch or even list when you're not ready to open sale to your users or members of this platform? Well, this is something that we've should have seen coming, and I'm going to show you exactly what you missed, even though this was the plan from the onset. It's not anything that just came out of nowhere. And so let's dash straight into it. The whole issue or problem or scam or whatever word you want to use that people think they are facing right now did not start today. It started from the onset and is the exact same thing that made them stand out from other projects. Venture capitalists. Yes, venture capitalists, investors, whatever you want to call them. All these people that it came to a point that it felt like Pixelverse kept announcing them almost every week. They had a partnership or a new investor on board. And I don't know, for some reason, people that had little or no clue about the crypto community were just excited about it. Now, it did have its advantage, obviously, and we are going to talk about that. Number one is funding and resources. Yes, a venture capitalist literally brings money. An investor, that's basically the idea of having a venture capitalist. Handling projects like this can be quite expensive, and this is why for projects that do not get a lot of investors or no investors at all tend to take a lot of time and try to find a way to raise funds. And we could see it with the likes of a lot of projects opening YouTube channels or incentivize one or two things on the platform just so they can raise money. And so all this money that crypto platforms are trying to raise is basically to pay the professionals they get on board to actually run the system. Development and writing of these codes are not cheap. So to get these people on board and to get the required resources that they need requires money. And this is what venture capitalists brings in loans. The second thing is credibility and trust. While they keep announcing venture capitalists not just for their money, or investors not just for their money, it's for the fact that these people are also credible people. They tell you their resume of whoever is investing into them. So if you hear someone like Warren Buffett is investing into a project without not doing a lot of research, you most likely have a inclination to trust that project. And this is one of the things venture capitalists literally bring, because they're rich people with a track record and a credibility that they could draw in more crowd or get the crowd to believe or trust in the project much further. And number three is expertise and network. Yes, venture capitalists not only bring their money or their credibility, but they also bring expertise. You can find a couple of venture capitalists that come in with either a skill that they own or even a team that are skillful to actually help in the project. And venture capitalists come with these people. And typically, venture capitalists in the crypto sphere would typically come from people that have worked in other crypto spheres, probably someone that has worked or still works with Binance, Trust Wallet, or even OKX, or so on and so forth. And so having idea in the vast page and then coming together, they're investing this money and bringing every single resource they can to actually make these projects grow. And these are just few of the advantages venture capitalists brings to the project. But let's talk about the disadvantages. So if they're going to be doing all these things, what do they stand to gain? Now, what they stand to gain 90% of the time is what the community or the total population at large tend to lose out on. Let me explain. Number one, disadvantages of having a venture capitalist in a project, especially a project of this size or this magnitude, is centralization concern. Control, in simple words. Me bringing my money, bringing my expertise, bringing my credibility, and so on and so forth. I want to have a level of control so that the cryptocurrency is not totally decentralized and manipulated by the market to the extent that I don't know the fate of the money I'm going to make or the money I've invested into this project. And so the system is being designed in a way that it will favor the venture capitalists or the investors way more than the general public will. And so they find a way to control the markets in one way. Secondly, market manipulation. And because they have control of the market, it's not inevitable for them to manipulate the markets. We are humans. And so you're not going to expect people to invest that kind of money and still care about philanthropic work. They are not there for philanthropy, it is business. And so they're going to find a way to actually make money out of it. And so it's a clear sign of the big dogs and the underdogs kind of game. And even though it tarnishes the whole idea of decentralization in cryptocurrency, you have a choice to just stay clear of this project or do your research before going into this project, because either ways, they're going to manipulate the market the way they see fit. Misalignment of interest. Now, manipulation of the market could sometimes come in favor of the general public and most times go against the public. Most often than not, it actually go against the alignment or the interest that the original founders or creators of this project actually have in mind. It's just like having a business and then getting a board member or a board group on board. They decide which decision goes through and which decision they will not implement, even though you're the one that found the company. And so, talking about Pixelverse, how does this affect the listing and what we see going on? First off, because venture capitalists are going to want to make more money out of this thing more than the general public, they are going to have to find a way to create control. And the best way you can create control is to limit the amount of the coin that the general public has. And so the venture capitalists are going to hold a higher margin or a higher portion of the coin, large enough to be able to manipulate the market far more than the general public have. So if any news comes out or whatever come out, you decide to dump, it most likely would not shift the market, because what you are holding could probably be around 4% or even less of what the total supply of the coin. And so you would ask, how are they able to hold much more percentage than the general public in this case? Now, when you mine Pixelverse, how did the session number go up by claiming, they say the Pixelverse coin? Now, having that coin and having their NFTs were important, but the coin had no value and never was in the graph of having value in the whole grand scheme of things. The real coin and the real supply of Pixelverse is known as PixFi, well, PixFi, which basically means Pixel Finance. And so PixFi was never in the airdrop. It only would come at the distribution of when those people decide to share it. And this is what you are waiting for. After the listing, the venture capitalists are going to do whatever they can to try to get the price higher and way more than the listing price, and then they try to sell while the general public waits for the real airdrop to actually happen. And so Pixelverse airdrop, or participation as we know it, has ended, but the real airdrop has just begun. And this is what has begun from the 18th of July to end on the 25th of July. And talking about market manipulation and control, even after they've given you this airdrop, they're still not going to allow you access to sell off every single thing. You're only going to be able to withdraw 10% of this airdrop, PixFi airdrop, to your wallet, either Bybit or whatever wallet you've connected to this. I'm not going to run through the whole article. So if you want access to how the airdrop platform is going to work, and do have to click the link in the description. I'm going to leave the link to the full article of how this airdrop or how the distribution process is going to work. And if you look through this distribution process, you can see that your NFTs that every single person bought to play with is ranked by the level at which you were able to get into in the Pixelverse community. And this level was from level 1 to level 10 being the highest. And so we had them ranging from common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. Those NFTs are going to have different prices. And even at that, your NFT, a kind of NFT you have, is going to determine how you're going to withdraw. So in other words, if you only have from rare, epic, and legendary, you can withdraw the 10% given to you. Anything less than that, well, they didn't give an express statement of what will happen to you or if you're going to even make any money out of this. So in other words, a lot of people that participated in this thing are not going to get anything. And if I thought you're going to get anything, I highly doubt you're going to get up to $10 if you decide to sell. Now, this is a way for them to actually, when I say force or manipulate people to stay in the crypto project long term, hold this coin or decide to forget about it, thereby trying to increase the perceived value of this coin in general. Yes, everything sounds a bit complicated, but in simple terms, it's like a sham. Yeah, because the whole idea of everything moving and growing is just so the investors can actually make profits from it. Like I said, it's not personal, it's strictly business. And this whole trying to get the public to hold less and release a little bit of 10%, 20%, or whatever is simply what we call investing in cryptocurrency. Investing is a very good idea if it is done with the proper mindset or the proper motivation. But for this case, people feel cheated because this vesting is not benefiting anybody. Well, at least not the general public. So yeah, I think it's high time you move on from Pixelverse and look at other projects, or you just go and take advantage of other ways to make money in cryptocurrency and stop sulking. In the cryptocurrency world, it's common to hear terms like do your own research. And this is basically why you would not get sidetracked or shocked when things like this happen. by simply doing your own research. So, well, I hope you learned something in this video and to take note of projects that have a lot of investors involved in them. Now, example of a project that would have had a lot of investors, but try to avoid a lot of them because of how they do not want investors to manipulate their decision is Pi. And this is more reasons why you should start mining Pi. And if you were, then go find a way to get back your key phrase, do your KYC, and so on and so forth. Because with the way Pi is going and the amount of their paperwork, I've done a video talking about this previously, Pi is very promising. And so unlike Pixelverse, which has leaned to the total extreme side of the financial market, you don't think those giveaways they were doing were just giveaways. They were trying to appease the community and get a lot of people into them. And after doing this, it's their turn to enjoy the work of their labor. It's time for you to move on from it and stop sulking, going online and writing insults and crazy stuff about them. You're welcome.